Welcome to The Authentic Spiritual Journey, a weekly podcast featuring real and practical spiritual conversations from diverse perspectives here on the Experience of the Soul podcast channel. Today, episode 216, The Power to Change Your Mind. And now your host, Reverend Cynthia Alice Anderson.
Hello and welcome to The Authentic Spiritual Journey. My name is Cynthia Alice Anderson. I'm the host. I'm here today in 818 Studios with my producer.
Good morning, everybody. This is Dave Croft, and thank you so much for joining us for another episode of The Authentic Spiritual Journey. As always, I hope you had an amazing weekend, and I'm looking forward to whatever the universe has for you this week because I know it's going to be great. Thank you so much for spending a little part of your day with us today.
Yes, and thank you so much for your financial support, going forward. I can't tell you how much the financial support means because without that being there, we couldn't continue the show. Dave and I give a lot of our time and energy and, there are fees associated with this type of show. So thank you so much for your loving and consistent support. Some of you have been giving from the very beginning. And Dave, I'm realizing we are in our fifth year now.
Yeah. That's 216 episodes, 52 episodes. I don't think we've missed a week, have we?
Never missed a week. Always had new shows. We've never even run a repeat.
I know.
So I think that's pretty impressive.
I want you to know, I've been doing podcasts since 2005. And you need to know how impressive that is. The fact that there's been 216 shows without missing one, without having to run a rerun because, myriad reasons. I've run reruns on my old Drummer Talk shows, and I've had other hosts that have just, again, no, not disparaging them, but life happens sometimes. Sure. But I think it really speaks to the depth and the breadth of what you have to say. And
thank you.
How important it is and how much this just comes out of a passion out of you, right? You don't do 216 shows if you don't feel really called to do this work.
Either that or I've lost my mind. Yes. So let's call it passion.
Yes. Well, I'm okay with that. I'll allow that.
Yeah. Well, and today's topic is one of my, And today's topic is one of my very favorite things to talk about. So, Dave, let's hear the title of today's show.
The title of today's show is The Power to Change Your Mind. The Power to Change Your Mind.
The power to change your mind, friends. This is like freedom. Freedom. Yeah, the power to change your mind. Wow. I just want that title to just sit with you for a minute because everything in the world right now says you're a victim. And I'm saying you have the power to change your mind. The power to change your mind is a statement of freedom. It's a new thought for you. And what I've learned is the more I work with this idea that I have the power to change my mind, the more I work with this idea, the clearer I get, the more my life shifts, the more benefits I have to my health and wellness, the more benefits I have to my psychological health, that I have the power to change my mind. In other words, I am more than what has happened to me. I am more than my age. I'm more than my gender. I am more than my sexual orientation or my race. That there is this innate power that I have to change my mind, which means I am not going to be limited by what others think of me, but by what even I've thought about me. Right? That I've learned, like in the last year, I have made so many wonderful changes in my life. And I look back and go, the only thing I did was change my mind. I say the only, right? Well, it's not always easy to change your mind. It's not always easy to change your mind because you like things the way they are. Things are comfortable for you. Things feel good a certain way. But when we stay so comfortable and feel so good for so long, it's like eventually what felt like comfort begins to feel like a prison. And it's no longer comfort. It's like keeping us from next steps. And of course, I love new experiences. So based on your personality type, we've talked about the Enneagram from time to time. And if you're not familiar with that, a great book is called The Enneagram Made Easy. And we'll have that in the show notes for sure. But the interesting thing about my personality type is I always like new adventure. So that helps in me changing my mind and trying new things. But also what I've learned about this personality type is it's also easy to jump from thing to thing instead of getting a benefit of, sticking with something for a while as a new practice. So that's where my spiritual discipline comes in. But I want you to think about, friends, in your life right now, is there an area that you are feeling a little bit stuck? Is there an area that you're just like, man, like several people have told me, friends, colleagues, and then even clients, how stuck in certain areas they felt during COVID. And they're just now starting to spin out of those, because they're changing their mind. They're making new decisions about what they want to do with their time, with their life, with their energy, with their money, So, it just may be time for you to make a change.
Yeah, I'm feeling this a little bit right now with just some technical things going on in the studio, and I'm running a 2014 computer. I run an iMac.
That ain't right, Dave.
Well, I mean, I believe, if you buy nice or buy twice. So, in 2015, when I bought this machine, it was kind of like I turned up all of the knobs on the Apple Store to max it out.
Yeah, I remember that.
I wanted to get as much mileage out of it as possible. And that was great. And this has been an amazing computer. And I even don't want to say this out loud because I don't want to,
bless the computer.
I don't want to spook it, in the middle of a recording
Bless
session.
Bless the tech.
But, it's time, 2008, the quantum changes in technology from 2014 to 2022 are quite large, especially in the recording space. And so, new computer is here. I just need to get it all set up, but it sparked this change in energy that I want to maybe bring into the studio space itself. Like, do I want to shift where the desk is in the room? I could get more light in, because right now the way the studio is set up, the desk and the monitors back up to the window. So I really can't access the window easily. So I never have natural light in here. It's very studio cave-y. You've been in here. You absolutely.
I was going to say, come out of the cave, Dave.
I know. But I'm using this opportunity to just bring a ton of new energy in. Yeah. And this is coming from the guy who hates change, and I'll eat the exact same thing every single day and my routine. And so, but I'm feeling it. So this is a very well-timed episode for me.
Well, and what I love about it is a process. And I love that the change is coming when you're really honoring your craft. I think anything that we do and we want to do well, it's important to have this, tremendous dedication, which you have, but then you do have to have the right tools.
Yeah. I think of it like, a carpenter having their favorite saw or their favorite hammer, and then eventually the hammer will wear out. And so setting aside this thing, which has been such an integral part to your journey. I mean, this is the machine that I bought when I told myself, I'm getting really, really serious about music for media and TV. This is what I bought to make that happen. And that has absolutely happened. So this machine has been with me nearly that entire professional journey. And so, I'm getting a little, I'm getting a little emotional thinking about it. I mean, I know it's just a computer, but it's not only just a computer. Well, it isn't. Yeah.
Well, it isn't. Well, computers, there is a life, there is an energy actually to that computer. And I don't know, for those of you who watch crime shows and stuff, they're getting a little more human than we might imagine. I mean, there can be well, I don't know how deep we want to go in this, but I was thinking about the human viruses that computers, anyway. it's a little out there. I'm not going to go there, but computers, we do become really attached to them, because of what they give us in terms of our careers. And, there's a class I do, often called Keys to the Kingdom. It was written by David Owen Ritz. It's a great prosperity program that has, every time I teach it and take it, it has shifted something, major in my life. But what I was going to say is, as a part of that class, I always do, a week where we are releasing things to one another, that we're really guided to release. And I remember one class, a guy released his computer that he wrote his master's thesis on because he realized he was holding on to the past, so that computer had represented for him, that whole time. And he's like, it's been a while and I want someone else to be able to use this computer to do something they really care about. So there was definitely an emotional connection to it.
Yeah. And I hold on to things, especially like small, like boxes and tech, and I'll just hold on to, I have hard drives in my closet here that have old things, which are backed up and copied everywhere. And so Shannon calls me a digital and technological hoarder.
I think it's a guy thing.
Maybe. I think you're probably right, But no, I definitely feel that an energy shift. I'm going to strip out everything and rewire as if I were installing the studio from scratch. Now's, I think, a great time to do that.
I think that's going to build a big refresh in your work. And I would even predict that you're going to get new work coming in. You're going to get, because here's the thing, anytime you set an intention and then you have the gear to support it, you're saying to the universe, I'm ready for the next level, And Dave, your work and a lot of people don't know about your work with 52 Qs and your work, the Qs that you write, for CBS Sports and all that. I know that there's more for you there. And I think this is a great way to shift the vibration upward, to say to the universe, I'm ready for bigger, work. I'm ready for, more financial abundance in my work. I'm ready for success at a different level. And I think you getting supported through the new, computer and also natural light. I mean, the idea that there's going to be light in there, I love it. And all this happened, right? Just from you shifting your mind.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Changing my mind. And anybody who knows me, especially anybody in the family, knows how much I hate moving rooms around. It's like, it works. Everything. And I will spend, months like figuring it out. But once it's figured out, this is it. This is how the room is archaeologists are going to dig up this house and they will see the imprint from where the couch was 500 years from now, because I just do not change things. So it's a tectonic shift for me to think, oh my gosh, this workspace might change. And but I don't know, I'm feeling it. The natural light thing especially is I really, really want access. Don't misunderstand me. I absolutely researched like power blinds and shades so that I could control.
Right, I bet.
There's a significantly cheaper and less technologically complicated way to do that. It's called just put your desk over there, Dave.
Yeah. Don't you love it? Yeah, exactly. Well, but it is a journey. It is a process. But anytime you make a change in your mind, it means you're growing.
Yeah.
Right. It means there is an evolving. I mean, when you think about a cave-like existence to having natural light, it's like you can't get more iconic. Like, go into the light, Dave. Yeah, follow the light, Dave.
Yeah. I do like what you said about kind of the computer representing a new phase, because, going back to the carpenter analogy, it feels a little bit like I was working with a handsaw, and I did a lot with this handsaw.
Or a hammer and chisel.
Right. But now I have a powered tabletop saw.
Yes.
And so I absolutely see that happening. And so I appreciate that. Yeah.
And I know how much you like, I want to be careful how I say this. No. Here's what I was going to say. I know how you like tech to really support you.
Mm-hmm.
Like you'll spend time like researching like the perfect holder for your phone, whereas I'll just go buy a thing.
Right.
I'm like, it holds the phone. You're going to shop it to death, right?
That's so funny because I have a holder on my desk that I did that exact same thing.
Exactly my
you
point.
Know me.
Oh, I know you, friend. I know you. So, I mean, that's how I know how big of a change this is. Yeah. And so, but it does represent, a new consciousness you're bringing on. So any change does represent that, and I just think the more aware we are, the more we get to benefit from the change. I'm not saying, well, you have to go through life and go, oh, I made this major change. Let's have a big process. But what I'm saying is knowing that this change is significant will help you get the most out of it. It will help you, in business terms, it would help you have more ROIs.
Yeah.
More return on investment, right? Because, it's like, okay, you're investing in this new idea. You're investing in this new way of thinking. You're investing in this new way of being. Let's get the most of it. It's really funny because, how I'm relating to this, which is, may not relate to our listeners at all, but, I was supposed to be on vacation, which there seems to be something in my orbit that's not letting me vacate. So I laugh like, and this is not funny. It just happens to be what's happened, that every time I've had to go to Georgia, it's about a death. Every time I've had to leave my job, it's been about a family death or work. And I love my work, but I need to play.
Yeah.
I absolutely need to play. So the other night I got to play pinball, which was just a blast. And, then this week we were going to do a trip that was going to be for fun. And then my son had this camp he really wanted to do. And I was like, okay, Spirit, I surrender. So it's not going to be anywhere I have to go. And that was actually a relief that I didn't have to drive anywhere.
Yeah, that's when you know. When you feel relieved by the change, you're like, okay, this is what I was meant to do.
This is what I need. And so to be home there are a couple little things around the house that I know to somebody else, this would not feel like a vacation, but there's something I've been wanting to do for months and it's been bothering me. I haven't been able to do it. It's like, I love my home. I want to take care of it. So it feels like a relief to just be here, and I'm not going to just work on the house. I'm going to go take a long walk. I'm going to play video games. I'm going to play pinball. I'm going to take it easy. This sounds like a blast. And for me, that's a shift. Because I've been so about, since I started Unity North Tampa, then we had the flood. It was like I was going to go out of town then. I couldn't go out of town then because of the flood. Well, then we had the builders and the contractors and the painters and and I finally said, I love you guys so much, but if I don't get a day off, I'm not going to be a very good minister.
Yeah.
Because I kept having to go in on days off for some reason, contractors can never be there when I'm there. I've never been able to figure that out. I don't know any other field where you can say something and do the exact opposite and still get paid. I don't know. But anyway, and I really like our contractor.
Politicians have entered the chat.
Oh, right. But so anyway, so my shift is, and we're just talking as friends here, Dave. My shift has just been, it's like, okay, well, what I keep trying to do, going somewhere and blah, 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 that's just not meant to be. But what if I could just relax and it's actually going to be fun to take my son to camp. I just get to be mom this week.
Yeah.
And, hang out with some friends. That's going to be a blast. That's going to be a blast.
Yeah. I think it's definitely well earned. As hard as you work and as much as you travel and as much as you just pour into other people, I think it's very, very well deserved. But I feel you about the things that don't feel like they would be fun to other people. Like me rewiring this studio.
That's
I know it feels like
right?
death to some people, but the fact that I'll be able to go out and Velcro or pull off all the cables and Velcro everything so it's nice and tidy. And I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be like a cathartic almost.
Yeah, I think that is awesome.
It's almost a meditation,
Oh, totally. And I think anything can be, and I'm glad you said that, because I think for our listeners, sometimes they think, well, I've got to do all this spiritual blah, blah, blah. Well, the thing is, whatever you do is spiritual, right? So like you say, rewiring your office, or really, I've told the story before where, I used to live, I shared a home with, he was the sound engineer for Unity Church of Overland Park, and he ended up doing sound at Unity Village. And when he worked with his gear, it was like a holy moment. There was an energy that took over. So it didn't matter that it wasn't at church or whatever. So remember, our brand of spirituality is that wherever you are, God is.
Yeah.
So
if you ever
could be detailing your car
100%.
and that be a total spiritual experience, just dialing into like getting in the moment. It's like, what's that book? I'm thinking of Zen and the Art of Archery, or what's the other one, Dave?
Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Riding?
Yeah. So,
or
so
motorcycle
just think
repair.
about that.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think it is repair.
Motorcycle maintenance. We'll have a link to that. Well, it's like if you've ever seen a sound person, at the end of service, wrapping up the cables and being really deliberate. It's all about just kind of resetting the energy, so that, the next time they come in, it's not just about organizing the cables or making sure they don't, get into a knot. It's all very deliberate, energetic work there. At least that's how I see it. Yeah.
Right. Well, and we're going to talk about that second half, and I'm going to say in one word what that is flow. Flow. So we're going to talk more about that right after this. I invite you to the wonderful book series that begins in August called Tears to Triumph. Tears to Triumph is an amazing spiritual book by the acclaimed author Marianne Williamson. Tears to Triumph is really a book about spiritual healing from the modern plagues of anxiety and depression, and it'll give you some wonderful new tools for healing, some practical exercises, and of course, support for your soul's growth and healing on every level. So I hope you'll join us in the month of August. What's so wonderful is at Unity North Tampa, I'll be doing the message, so you can catch that online on YouTube at Unity North Tampa. And the class begins Monday, August 8th at 7 p.m. Eastern online. For more information about the class, please go to CynthiaAliceAnderson.com and go to courses, and there will be more information about our class. The great news is we're offering this class on a love offering basis, and the offering will be going to Unity North Tampa. So blessings on the journey, dear friend, and I hope you can join me for Tears to Triumph on Mondays in August. Welcome back. We're glad you're with us, as always. And I hope you're connecting with us and applying it to your own life, thinking, man, do I need to change my mind about, the way I'm doing something? And it's really like installing an upgrade in your life. That's the way I like to think about it. Upgrade your life, baby. Change your mind, right? Change your mind. And I think the main thing is just understanding, realizing, being aware of the fact that we have this power. And then, my take on it is some of the most powerful ways I've shifted have been known to no one but me. And they're small, but they make a big difference in how I feel. A big difference in how I feel. In other words, I feel more at peace, more connected, more healthy. I can also see if my choices are not giving me that. So that's what I mean. If you feel like you're kind of stuck in one of those areas, it's like, oh, I know what this is. I need to change on this topic. I need to shift, basically.
Right. Yeah. So
the word I said right before the break is flow. Flow. And, this one really has been a challenge for me, because I'm really good at making things happen. And there are times when I want to apply force energy, and I really need to simply flow with what's happening, take a breath and flow. I've noticed it in my personal life. I've noticed it in my work. I've noticed it in my parenting. When I just breathe and can just take a small pause, boy, I really know what's right for me to do. But if I'm like force, then yes, I get results, but are the results the ones that I really want? And did I, get it in a way where, somebody isn't left behind or, such as that. So flow is what I'm really working on right now. Flowing into my friendships, relationships, the way I parent my son. It's like as he ages, I've noticed he needs different things at 15 than he even did at 14 and certainly 13. He needs a different kind of space. And then when he is needing to talk, he needs a different kind of listening. And I have a couple new friends I've been really excited about. My coach for jiu-jitsu has become really important in my life. And he's taught me a lot about flow with the body and in my physical practice. Instead of trying so hard, he'll just say to me, flow. And it's like, oh yeah, I don't have to try. Just like get in the moment and trust. And when I trust, all of a sudden, like when I can just be secure in myself, all of a sudden the moves flow a little easier. And I'm still a beginner. Jiu-jitsu, like you can study it 20 years and still be learning every time you're in the gym, every time you're in the dojo. I mean, this is not, let's go take a walk. This is like demanding physical sport that causes you to, roll around on the floor like a panda. This is not normal for a 53-year-old woman. So
I've seen the videos. Yeah, it's really, really intense. It's really intense.
Oh, have you seen a couple of my videos?
Yeah, you showed to me.
Did I show you one? Okay, I didn't remember that.
Yeah, you invited me, and I got to admit, I was like, man, I don't know if I could do that. It looks really, really intense.
Oh, it is. I'll have to send you a fun a video about the intensity of it, but it's been really awesome. Well, and speaking of that shift. And I didn't really realize it until I was just having so much fun. But there were several times in my life where I had tried to go this direction. And either the people around me were not supportive, or my job was too busy, or, something kept me from committing to it. Well, that is over. My whole garage is now a dojo.
Heck yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I have my own mat. And I'm going to tell you, that was the best investment I have made in years. Every day I'm in there stretching, I'm moving. My body is flexible. I can get up and down off the floor very easily. I'm learning to do backwards rolls, and I'm sure I'll be doing more kind of acrobatic type stuff as I go forward. And I feel a sense of accomplishment that I'm able to do things now that just a few months ago, I would have laughed if you would have told me I was going to be, flipping backwards, upside down, and then virtually to a sitting and then standing position in a couple of moves and be in a fight stance. I would have never thought I could do that. But I love that. And it was just this decision to really honor this desire I've had for so long. And it was like, well, I don't want to wait until Friday to be able to do this. I need to do a lesson. And then I did a lesson. When I was first getting into it, I'll be honest, I had lessons 4 days in a row. I could not get enough. I think I lost 5 pounds in the first week.
How sore were you after that 4th day?
Well, on the 5th day, I couldn't move. On the 5th day, I had to do a Epsom salt bath with rosemary and mint. My body was like, but I know I'm just like talking at depth into this, but this is what we do. This is our conversation among friends, and I'm just pretending there's not 5,000 people listening to my jujitsu journey, but I was like, I really love this, and I love that I can protect myself and those I love. I love that that's a different sense of power, than I've ever had. In the South, as a woman, you're taught to depend on other people. You're taught to be really, many ways, victimized. And that's over for me. That's over. And to be able to physically protect myself and my family is pretty miraculous. I never thought I would be in that position. So, to have a new friend as a result of this new aspect of my life, and I not only one friend, the whole class. It's me and the boys. Of course, once again, I'm the only woman, but I love the trust these men have in me, and vice versa. It's been so healing for me to be this vulnerable and to be this at peace with the various things we have to do, and for them, all their issues with women, they're getting to heal, but it all happens on the mat, right? So when there's a sense of safety and trust and support, and there's a great deal of respect. A lot of churches could learn something from the martial arts in terms of respect and support and honoring, of wherever you are in the journey. So if you're brand new or if you're a higher belt, it doesn't matter. Everybody is treated the same. Somebody may drill a little bit more often, which it was interesting. A few weeks ago, there was a guy who was always drilling with the coach to show us things. And I thought, one day I want to be that person that he drills with to show everybody how to do things. Well, then one night that guy wasn't there. And I'm not sure I'll ever wish for that again. I was sore.
You got what you were asking.
I got what I was asking for, though, and it challenged me. So what am I saying? Well, hopefully you're gleaning that this is important. You're gleaning that this was a necessary change. And it's weird. I now cannot imagine my life without it. It was how my mom became with running. Like that was she was just associated with that. I mean, she didn't start running till she was 55, and then she ended up being in the Golden Games, the Senior Olympics, and she was getting medals. That was just, but she didn't even start till she was 55. So I said, I'm glad I didn't wait till 55 to start jujitsu. I'm not sure I would have been able to do it because it's so physically demanding. But that shift has impacted every part of my life. It's impacted my relationship with myself and my body. It's changed my relationship with other people who are deeply into physical activity, whether it's working out. Like it's helped me connect with some of my nieces and nephews that are really into the gym, and they're like, "You go, Auntie, go! I love watching you." It's created different connections, and it was just one change. Yeah, so one real change in the way I thought about what I was capable of, see? And then committing to it. So it is a process. It's not just a thought process. But first, we change our mind, and then the actions follow. Right? So that's what we're always talking about. Your consciousness is the sum total of your thoughts, your feelings, your beliefs, and ideas. Well, it does start with thought. And then as you get clear and you have emotion around those thoughts, well, then those turn into actions. Those turn into behaviors. So hopefully you will, as you're moving into, changing on a few things, you'll start to see that this is a process that you go through. Because like Dave, as you were saying about your computer, first it was just about getting a new machine because you knew you absolutely needed it. Well, now your whole office is shifting. Mm-hmm. So the shift is expansive. The change is expansive in that area. I mean, like you say, for you, this is a major move. It would be like for somebody else changing apartments or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like, because your workspace, you're in it so much. I don't think our listeners are aware of how many hours a day you spend in that space. And so I like the idea of it just being really supportive of you with natural light, with, with the right computer, with the right tech.
Yeah, the right tools and putting energy into the right places. And yeah, I'm in the studio by 5:30. I spend 12 to 14 hours a day in the studio.
Yep. Do you hear that, friends? 12 to 14 hours a day. Yep. Time for a little natural light, Dave.
Yeah, 100%. And not all the LEDs,
I don't want you to start hibernating. You're going to start hibernating.
Well, the good news is, my whole miracle morning, I've biked 13 miles or something like that during the day. So, but it's not daylight though, because it's nice and dark at 4:30 in the morning.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I know, it's true. It's
some
true.
More vitamin D.
Well, I've heard from many people, a lot of times when I talk about release, one of the things I talk about is clearing your workspace to provide a new energy. And I've had a lot of feedback over the years that people say, well, you know what? When I started clearing out my desk, I got all kinds of new clients, seemingly from nowhere. I said, well, because those behaviors of cleaning out say to the universe, I'm ready for something new. Mm-hmm. So I think what we forget is that we're intimately connected with the universe. It's not like God is way out there and then I'm over here. It's like as we shift and change, we're creating a new energetic vibration for the universe to match. Like, for instance, you hear people talk often about the law of attraction and how whatever we focus on, is what we draw to ourselves. Well, this is true both in the positive and in the negative. So like if we're holding on to old energy, if our work areas get piled up, it's like there's no space. You were saying, I have no more space. It's subconscious or unconscious, obviously, right? Because nobody would consciously say, okay, don't send me any more great work and great clients. But that's often what we're saying with our behaviors. So just cleaning out the workspace, for me, it's getting a new calendar or buying a new pen or getting something. I just recently found these notebooks that are going to help me with my mastermind groups, because my mastermind business, and those people have become like extended family. I have supported them for so long. And I felt like the notebook I was using, it's a little thing. I felt like the notebook I was using, I was always cramped in what I was writing. And I found this kind of large notebook that closes in a certain way, that there's plenty of room for me to write. And I actually hold prayer intentions differently based on the notebook I wrote them in. I mean, it's crazy that one little thing would make that big of a difference. I was holding people in prayer, but literally now not every day, but often I'm reading those names, I'm lifting them up, and I'm asking for guidance before the next mastermind, that we get together. So it's like those little tiny changes have really made, as Dr. Robin would say, small changes, big shifts, right? And I'm glad her show, it was really great having her on the show recently.
Yeah, that episode will be airing in a few weeks, so be on the lookout for that.
Oh, right. Yeah, I forgot, because we interviewed her in advance. Yeah. But that's the name of her show, Small Changes, Big Shifts. So, yeah. So I hope, friends, you're thinking about this, and it for me even relates to my home. I had somebody recently give me something that was really unexpected. A dear friend who, when I had moved, we had kind of lost contact, and he had wanted to give me a housewarming gift. And anyway, we ran into somewhere and reconnected, and he said, I I feel awful. I did not, honor this new home and stuff. I want to get you something. I said, it's not necessary. He said, tell me your address. I've already bought it. I just need to tell him where to send it. And it was real fun creating this space in my kitchen for this new, it's like I don't know. It's like this new cool oven thing from Williams-Sonoma. And, it also had this beautiful bamboo cutting board and all this stuff, and I love to cook, although you wouldn't know it lately. I love to cook, and it's just been amazing, and it changed the whole feeling of my kitchen. So I'm saying it's funny that just a little physical change. So when you really are looking to make a shift, changing your mind, friends, changes everything. It impacts the physical, it impacts your relationships. And again, the more aware we are of this shift, the deeper, more expansive, and more important the shift may be. Our goal is to help you get the most out of your spiritual journey, the most out of life. We're not here so life can be bad and boring and you pay taxes and die. We're here because we want you to be able to grow and prosper your soul. Jesus said, I came that you might have life and have it more abundantly. That's our goal. And it's the smallest things, friends, often that will make you feel connected, that will make you feel loved, that will make you feel at peace. So our hope is that you will realize your innate spiritual power. And one of the easiest and most important things you can do to shift your life for the better is to change your mind. And it puts you in the driver's seat of your life. So this is our hope for you, that you will make great changes that will bring more goodness, more wholeness, more health, more abundance to every area of your life. And lift me and Dave up, because as you can hear, we're in processes of our own. We always are. And we thank you for listening. We thank you for sharing time with us. Again, thank you again for your financial support. Those of you who give every month, yay for you. And then those of you who just all of a sudden give $500, oh boy, I can't tell you what that means as those bills come due every month. So thank you for your financial support and your love. We're happy to support you. We honor you on the journey. Wherever you may be listening from, know that we send love and blessings your way. So blessings on the journey, dear friend, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode of The Authentic Spiritual Journey here on the Experience of the Soul podcast channel. This channel is made possible because of listeners just like you. If you would like to support the channel with your tax-deductible contribution on an ongoing basis or through a one-time gift, head over to experienceofthesoul.com/support. The Authentic Spiritual Journey is copyright 2022, Cynthia Alice Anderson, all rights reserved. Our theme music is composed by Dave Croft and used with permission from RR Hot Publishing. The Experience of the Soul podcast channel is a production of 818 Studios.